So in this tutorial, we're going to look at multiplying out a bracket. Okay, and if you look at question 1 on the right, here's a typical sort of thing, a number or a letter outside the bracket and some things inside the bracket. So let's look at what we do. Just before we start though, let's remind ourselves that minus signs are dangerous things, and if you're multiplying and you have minus times a minus, you always get a plus. And if you have a minus times a plus, or the other way around, a plus times a minus, you always get a minus. So, bearing that in mind, let's have a look at what we do. So the first thing we need to do is identify the factor outside the bracket. Okay, and the factor is just the thing that's multiplying the bracket, and then we identify the terms inside the bracket. So in that first question on the right here, there are two terms separated by a plus sign. And then we're going to link the outside factor to the inside terms, sort of physically with a line. I'll show you that in a minute. And then we're going to follow those links to multiply. Remember that we're multiplying when we multiply out brackets, and we multiply that outside factor by each term in the bracket. Right, let's go through this step by step. Now, quite a lot of these steps you will hopefully be able to do in your head, if not straight away, then quite soon. So step 1 in question 1, identify the term outside the bracket. Well, there's no doubt here, it's simply 3, isn't it? So I'm going to write that down, you might not need to. And now we're going to identify the terms inside the bracket. Well, we've looked at these already. They are 2a and plus 5. Okay, so we can, if I draw my bracket a little better, they are 2a, and we'll just call it 5 because plus signs we don't really need. And then what do we do? Well, it says link the outside factor to the terms inside. So I'm actually going to write this out again, 3 times 2a plus 5, and show you exactly what I mean. So we take the 3 and we link it with a line to the 2a, and then we link the 3 to the plus 5 as well. And now we actually do the multiplication. So we say 3 times 2a, you might again be able to do that in your head, but I'm going to write it out, plus 3 times 5. And 3 times 2a is 6a, and 3 times 5 is 15. And we have successfully, if slowly, multiplied out that bracket. Right, let's do the next one. So again, we're going to identify the factor outside the bracket. In this case, it's just x, isn't it? Okay, and now we're going to identify the terms inside the bracket. I've got x, and this time I've got minus 4. And that minus sign is really very important. Okay, so let's write those two things down, x and minus 4. Right, now what do we do? Well, let's write out the question again, x times x minus 4, and link the factor outside, which is that first x, to the two terms inside. So x gets linked to x outside, to x inside, and then x to minus 4. And now step 4, perform the multiplication. So I've got x times x plus x times minus 4. Okay, and I've put the minus 4 in a bracket just to be really safe. And now I can simplify this. X times x is x squared, and x times minus 4 is minus 4x. Plus times a minus is a minus. There we go. And finally, let's do this one. First of all, identify the factor outside the bracket. Now this is one of those ones where we need to be a little bit careful. It just says minus. But of course that means minus 1 times. So this is minus 1. Okay, so having identified carefully the factor outside the bracket, inside the bracket I've got x and I've got minus 5. So again, let's write those two down, x and minus 5. And now rewriting the question, but I'm going to do it with a minus 1, so minus 1 times x minus 5. I can now link my factor outside to the terms inside. Minus 1 and x get linked, and minus 1 and minus 5. As I say, hopefully you'll be able to do all of this in your head fairly soon. Let's do the multiplication then. Step 4, minus 1 times x. And then I've got plus, well, I've got minus 1 times minus 5. And again, note I'm putting the negative things in brackets just to emphasize that they are dangerous things. Now let's simplify. Minus 1 times x, that's a minus times a plus, is a minus. And then I've got a minus times a minus. Here it is, minus 1 times minus 5. And a minus times a minus, if we go right back up to the blue box here, is a plus, isn't it? But you knew that. So that's plus 5. So I get minus x plus 5. And that is that. These are very useful in all sorts of contexts, and whenever you come across a bracket to multiply out, make sure you do it this way.